Welcome back to the EdgeVerse Techcast. This is the podcast where we explore the tools, software, and processors that power innovation at the edge. I'm Kyle Dando, and I'm one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Bridgette Stone. Today's episode is all about graphics enablement across NXP's portfolio, from MCUs and crossover devices to our higher performance MPUs. Whether you're building rich, responsive GUIs or looking for hardware accelerated performance, we've got a lot to unpack today.
We sure do, Bridgette, and this is going to be unique. Today's podcast, we actually have two guests that are going to help us unravel this complexity of graphics enablement. So we have Mike Susen, who's joining us. Many of you may have engaged with him on our developer community. He's very active supporting all our customers and all our platforms. And also, we have Prabhu Sandararaj, and he leads our graphics technologies team here at NXP. And so we're really happy to have both of you here.
Thanks, Kyle. Let's start with some intros. Mike, tell us about your role, and I hear you brought a graphics titan with you.
All right. So, hey, I'm Mike Susen, and I'm software product manager here at NXP. And I've been part of systems engineering team for 8 years, and now I'm driving the strategy about graphics and display for 3 years in our team.
I'm Prabhu Sandararaj, technical director at NXP, working on graphics for about 20 years, been involved ever since first graphics process with GPU.
Thank you both for being here. So let's dive right in. First question, when developers ask about rich GUI support or want visually compelling UIs on embedded devices, what can NXP offer across the MCU and MPU spectrum?
Well, our portfolio is pretty wide, yeah. So we are counting with entry level of the MCUs over crossovers, then to i.MX MPUs. We support 2D, 3D graphics. Of course, we can do graphics without any acceleration. So we have the libraries, frameworks that are supporting no acceleration. So everything is computed over CPU. Then we have hybrid architectures combining CPU, 2D, 3D. So the users and the customers can easily scale and use that technology. Prabhu, do I miss something or anything from that? Or what is your opinion on NXP's HMI?
When we talk about graphics HMI is the efficient way to interact with machines next to physical buttons. Physical multifunctional buttons has its own challenge in the industrial designs. The graphics HMI provides a good alternative with nicer looking designs. NXP offers graphics APIs, which is fully optimized for performance, ultra low power, and also offers rich set of tools with GUI Guider and working with various industry partners.
All right, well, you bring up a great point, Prabhu, about how graphics is the way most of us interact with products nowadays. In the past, it was all about the buttons, but they always would age and break. Now with our mobile devices and a lot of the things we interact with, it's graphics. So thanks for bringing that up. And now why don't we dive into how does NXP help the customer with that? And we'll start with hardware acceleration. So NXP has a large portfolio, as you brought up. What are some of the hardware engines offered by NXP inside of those device families? How does NXP provide a competitive microcontroller or MPU as far as hardware is concerned?
All right. So in case of hardware acceleration, I can talk about crossovers and i.MX devices. So in case of crossovers, we have PXP, which is pixel pipeline. It can help you rotate image, do a bit, scale image, rotate, and crop. Then we have VG Lite accelerator, which is for vector graphics. And that's we are offering in case of crossovers. Then on the MPUs, on the big i.MX devices, we are talking about 3D, of course, with combination with 2D graphics. And regarding 3D, we can talk about OpenGL and all of the framework connected to OpenGL.
All right, Mike. So you brought the PXP, the VG Lite, the OpenGL, a lot of assistance for the customers. What's the biggest advantage that those engines provide customers? Where do the customers see the biggest performance improvement?
Yeah, so hardware accelerators are helping to offload the CPU. So the customers have more CPU time for their application. So everything regarding graphics is computed on these graphics accelerators, and then on the CPU, they can use CPU time for their application.
All right. Have you seen any recent cool demonstrations using graphics on the NXP devices that you talked about? Anything unique that customers have done?
Yeah. Well, every time I'm really impressed to see any game running on our hardware, and it doesn't matter if it's on the MCU without acceleration and also the MPUs. So be serious. Regarding customers, I like to see smart appliances because how many time we spend to set up any smart appliance like oven or washer? 5, 10 seconds, something like that. For that short time, we need to be impressed with the graphics and the animations and stuff around that. So every time I'm using this type of appliance, I'm thinking about how they did that, what type of acceleration are they using. So yeah, this is very interesting to me.
All right. Well, I think you just skimmed the surface. Bridgette, I think you and I have to step back and let the two graphics oracles take over. That was a great introduction. So you talked about the platform. You talked a little bit about some of the software, that great application of games, but more importantly, consumer products. So why don't you and Prabhu talk a little bit more about the advantages and get into more of the details about the NXP advantages that you guys have put together for graphics?
Yeah, so Prabhu, I know that your team is laser focused on the performance. What kind of work goes into optimizing graphics acceleration on our platforms?
When we talk about graphics on embedded devices, their resources are limited. For example, the environment which we are working in has a limited memory footprint and limited memory bandwidth, and also it needs to be extremely efficient to work under ultra low power conditions. GPU as an accelerator, its significance can be leveraged when we run in a parallelism. That means you run the GPU and you run the CPU so that many of the accelerators can run in parallel. That's where you bring the experience, human machine interfaces. Okay, that's where we are more focused on.
Yeah, any recent wins or popular features your team helped to enable that customers are loving?
i.MX and RT processors are being used in variety of automotive, industrial, and IoT use cases. Recently, for the AR/VR use cases, the GPU optimized for ultra low power best suits that specific use case. It helps to stay powered for many days. Okay, this has been proven in the smartwatches where you can see the designs with RT products stays for over 10 days. Similarly, we are bringing the same thing for the AR/VR use cases where it can stay for many days.
Well, thank you both for giving us some insider scoop on how we're optimizing graphics acceleration on our platform and some of your most recent features that we've enabled. Now, pivoting a little bit, I know many of our developers rely on third-party enablement software. How does NXP support those frameworks today?
So NXP delivers industry standard APIs, and NXP promotes the industrial standard APIs for its documentation and specification. This helps NXP MPU, MCU to integrate into the rich graphics tools, which provides a seamless development. And also, we provide a development tools and libraries across MCUs and MPUs, which makes the HMI development much faster and seamless for any given use cases.
Yes, as Prabhu mentioned, we are chip makers. We deliver hardware, but we need to deliver software enablement. On the top of that, our partners are able to build up and run their frameworks.
And Mike, does our software tooling help customers using external graphics engines get the most from our silicon?
Yes, of course. I have one great example here around these hybrid architectures. Just remember when you start your car, just push the button. In the same second, you see graphics, animations, and welcome screen and everything on the dashboard. It looks pretty simple, but imagine that there is complex operating system starting few seconds. So how we did it? The dashboard LCD is driven by real-time small core in first few seconds until the higher operating system will start, and after that, it will take the driving of the LCD and show all the catchy and fancy stuff and more complex widgets on the screen. So next time you will drive your car, you will know how this magic works.
It's getting pretty magical, Mike. I went to a dealership a couple months ago, and when that car powers up, it's like you're in a movie theater. There's so much It used to be you'd have that little center console, which was like an iPad, and now they've got the full console. It's from window to window. How does that seamlessly occur? You just talked about it. There's multi-cores, and all of those have to be working with the graphic support that NXP provides. All right, so let's move on to another question. Try to wrap up. So imagine that I'm a customer, Mike, and my management team is beating down on me to come up with the best new product. Our competition just came out with that new dashboard, and he's told our team that we have to do equivalent. So where does a customer get started? So what would they do if they want to start developing high-end graphics with the leading products from NXP's portfolio?
Yeah, we have that solution. The name is GUI Guider. This is the one tool we can offer to our customers. They can easily start without any knowledge about graphics, so they can build a graphics application in a minute or in a few minutes. Also, we are offering application code hub. So actually, we have two starting points. It depends where you want to focus, that to build something from the scratch or use or prepare the example.
Prabhu, anything you'd want to add? What else can our listeners do to get started?
GUI Guider is indeed a great place to start. There are a lot of examples and reference code from the application code hub. The smartwatch examples and the full appliance demo are indeed great examples to get started and modify based on their needs.
Do we have GUI Guider examples in the application code hub?
Application code hub indeed has the examples, which works great with the GUI Guider. So these examples can be imported into the GUI Guider and customers can modify based on their needs. It's a great place to start.
Great. So Kyle, I think we'll want to make sure to add some of those examples to the show notes.
Sure. All right. Well, Prabhu and Mike, thank you. I think we scratched the surface. This is such a huge topic. It's where NXP shines against the competition. Prabhu, you mentioned the portable devices. The smartwatches is where we have a strong presence. Now we're seeing the wearable glasses. We're seeing other graphics opportunities in the two-wheel devices with the consoles that Mike talked about. We're in lots of applications where we have these complex systems that have to power up using our i.MX devices or our crossover devices. I hope that the listeners today understand that NXP provides the chips, as Mike mentioned, but we're developing the software to support those. Prabhu, with his team on the graphics, they are integrating the best GPUs available, not only standard, but also NXP-driven GPUs. This is going to help our customers deliver satisfaction for next-gen graphics. Thank you very much today, guys, for coming on our show and explaining a lot about graphics.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. We talked a lot about the GUI Guider, Mike, which I think you have a lot of training available. We talked about the application code hub, and there are over 14 examples in the application code hub that will help you as a customer evaluate all the graphics that Mike and Prabhu mentioned.
Thanks again to Mike and Prabhu for being on the show today. And for our listeners, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you have a topic you would like us to explore, please drop us a note and let us know.
And until next time, check out the latest in graphics, and we'll see you on the next EdgeVerse Techcast.